Hello, can you all hear me? Hello, can you all hear me? Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the call. We're just holding on for about 2 to 3 minutes to allow everyone to allow people to kind of join and start soon. Thank you very much. Yeah, hello, everyone. We're just holding on to have more hands on deck before the session of today. So while we are holding on to everyone, you could just get onto your WhatsApp status probably forward the PC or tell someone to join so everyone kind of like gains what we're trying to learn here today. Thank you very much. Just hold on for 2 to 3 minutes and then we'll get started. By 5:08, get started. So please, while we're just holding on, try to share the events flyer and tell someone to join. Thanks. All right. Once again, welcome everyone joining. We just started in by 5:08 p.m. Sorry, apologies for taking your time. Just to ensure we have more hands on deck before we get started with what we have here today. All right. So I think we can get started. I think before we go on, please confirm. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, can you just unmute yourself and tell me you can hear me? Can you unmute yourself and tell me you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. I am Ashinzo Emmanuel, data scientist, and I'm also the programs lead at Google City Developers Club, University of Lagos. This today we're having a session with you on having a session with you on Jetpack. Sorry, excuse me. You're just a little bit of thank you very much. So once again, we're having a session with you on Compose Camp. I think it started a while ago. So Compose Camp is it's a new tool for development, particularly for mobile developers. And basically, what it does is it makes it really kind of easy to come up with applications, and it just makes it faster and it makes it better, kind of. So today, before we go into the main section, I would just love you guys. I'd love to hear from you guys too. Just drop your name and where you're joining from, and let's do that in 2 minutes. Your name and where you're joining from, and you just drop that in the comment section. Drop your name and where you're joining from. Your name and where you're joining from. Just drop that in the chat section of the call. I'd love to know you all. All right, your name and where you're calling from. You're joining from rather. So today is more of an session on how to use Jetpack Compose to build Android applications, and I'll just take you through what Jetpack Compose is all about, and then I'll hand over to the major speaker of today to take us through the session on how to build apps with Jetpack Compose. So basically, Jetpack Compose is a modern toolkit for building native Android UI. Like you're building native Android UI. It simplifies and it makes it easy for UI development on Android with less code. So if you're someone like me that doesn't really like to write too much of code and you really want to build amazing applications, I mean, like I think this is like the best thing for you to use. So it basically uses Kotlin APIs and just easily Because it's just a way of making life easy for everyone. Life is easy for you, life is easy for me, and we get to build really, really amazing Android applications. And it's not just that. I mean, there's still lots of amazing things that can be done with Jetpack Compose, which I believe the speaker will do justice to that today. So, to not take so much of our time, I would move on to the next thing. I will introduce a speaker that will be taking us through how to develop applications with Jetpack Compose. It's an hands-on session, so if you have your laptop with you, can you put on your laptop and follow through? Just try to build, just try to follow through what he's doing and ask questions when necessary. Because personally, I'm going to learn Jetpack Compose today. So our speaker is Sam. And Sam is a software engineer and is currently focused on mobile development. He's experienced in building native apps with Kotlin and Swift, and also cross-platform applications with Flutter. I think in my own dictionary is like my definition of Godwin, and I think I really want to know how to build apps like this. So to not take so much of our time, Sam, I think it's over to you to take us through how to use Jetpack Compose. Thank you very much, Sam. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Hope everyone can hear me clearly, first of all.
Yeah, I can hear you well. I can hear you well.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you, Manuel. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, my name is Samuel Abada. Like you said, mobile engineer. I have experience building with on native Android and iOS and cross-platform Flutter. Of course, I have some other experience, but currently I've been focused on mobile development for quite a while now, since somewhere around 2017, 2018. Yeah, so yes. Of course, today is Jetpack Compose Camp, right? So it's all about the new shine. Let me call it the new guy in the space of Android development called Jetpack Compose. Jetpack Compose is basically a modern toolkit, right, for building native user interface for Android apps. Of course, before Jetpack Compose, we were building native Android apps, right? But our design has been done using XML. XML is extensible markup language, right? But now the Android team is telling us that hey, you don't need to write XML. You could just do everything in Jetpack Compose, right? Just Compose basically makes it easier for you to build your UI, easier and faster. I see Compose as Flutter, but for native Android. I mean, same concept applies. They're both declarative UI. Allow you to build UI pretty fast. Developers want to ship features really fast. Because, I mean, features are what gives your product's value to the customer, to your user, right? So you don't want to spend the whole year building your UI. So you need something that allows you to do this UI as fast as possible while sticking with the design as close as possible, so that you don't do what I ordered out of what I got. Exactly. So, um, yeah. So Compose basically every is written in Kotlin. Compose apps are written in Kotlin. Of course, Kotlin is not like the major of the official language agented by the Android team. They tell you that hey, yes, it used to be Java. Of course, you could still write Java for native Android, but then the Android team now, their focus is now on Kotlin. Um, a moment, please. So I want to be sure that you can see my screen. Yes. So of course, Compose has a couple of benefits. Do more with less code. Code is easier and simpler to read and maintain. Then it's very intuitive. If you need a text is text, is column, row is row, out of the box. Whoever the team managing it, right, look at the developer side of things. You don't want things that is very hard to remember. You don't want to start calling find view by ID, find text by ID everywhere. You know, it's at a later development. It's easier to build a compose and faster compared to native XML, and you have a powerful framework. Yes. Of what? So basically, the point of Compose Camp, right, is to introduce us, right, to the world of building mobile applications in Jetpack Compose. And the Android team has done a lot to provide us with tracks, lots of resources, and code labs. I think apart from Google, I don't think there's any other framework. I've not seen much framework like that invests a lot in code labs and workshops, right, for their developer tools. The Android team does that well. So we have series of workshops to take. Each of them you could earn badge from them. There are quizzes, videos, code labs, accessible to everybody anywhere. So yes, without further ado, let's jump to the main theme and stop speaking too much English, right? Okay. First things first. I'm hoping that everyone is with their laptop, one that has Android Studio installed on it. If you are not with your laptop or you don't have Android Studio installed, just let me. You could signify in the chat box or something.
Oh, I think some of us don't have Android Studio.
Yeah, I'd say.
I said some of us don't have Android Studio.
Oh, I see. Someone was raising up their hand now.
Yes, I used to don't have Android Studio, so
Okay. It's sorry for your system. Interesting. Okay. Okay. I understand. So that's one challenge. Android Studio. Either you don't have it or it's heavy for your system. Um, I understand. I faced this challenge before. I think when I started Android development, I was using a 4 gig RAM PC, and I was packing Android Studio and Python on it, and it was Chrome. So all those guys just saw that's how. But anyway, it's fine, right? Even if you don't have your system with you here, or you don't have Android Studio current in your system, right? The code labs are still accessible to you. Okay, so you could always visit the code labs anytime, right? And the community is there. GDS is always there. You could always ask questions. I think I'm also in the community. Yeah, someone in the community. So you could ask questions. You could direct the question at me to answer you. etc. Okay. Then I want to assume that we have those that with their PC that has Android Studio that can run Kotlin and Jetpack Compose. Okay. So for the purpose of this like section, yeah, I think it's a section. I want to know how many of us have maybe we've played this Kotlin before, or we have an idea what Kotlin is. If you do, signify. If you don't, signify also. If no one is signifying, I want to assume that everybody knows what Kotlin is and I've played this Kotlin before. Yes, Daniel. Daniel, go ahead.
I meant I have dealt with this one. I have Android Studio. That's why I was raising my hand.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Sam, check the chat. I think they are typing in the chat.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, you have. Oh, okay. I see. I see. So I want to assume that we already have experience with what Kotlin is. So I think that will save me the headache of starting from Android basics in Kotlin. However, if anyone uh have no idea what Kotlin exactly is and needs to, take a like refresher, or anyone can even take it. It's basically a refresher on what Kotlin is, and you could visit that. I would also drop slides, right, to whatever slide I'm using, right? So all the resources will be referenced there, right? The code labs, workshops, developer documentation, refresher courses, whatever it is. So yes, the link I dropped now references Kotlin basics, right? Um, Android basics in Kotlin. Yes, I think that's the full course itself. It's by the Google team, Android team in Google, so you expect that it's solid, yeah, pretty rich and solid. You can't go wrong with it. Okay, so for today's section, we're looking at building a very simple app, nothing big, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing big or out of the ordinary. So we will be building a simple happy birthday app. The purpose of this app, right? Purpose of this code lab is just to build a very simple app, see how Compose works, right? Setting up Compose, how building with Compose is basically different from building a new activity in native with the regular Android and XML, right? Down to how we attend to text elements in Compose, how we attend to font elements, the concept of rows and columns, alignment in rows and columns, displaying data on devices, blah blah blah. So, yeah, the very first thing, right, is you want to set up, you want to, open Android Studio. Um, this Android guy, Studio guy always has something to download at any time, at any point. So why? So want to set up Android Studio itself. Then represents represents. Okay, so I want to believe you can see my screen clearly now. Android Studio Setup Wizard. Finish. So yeah, to be a new so I'm this This one of the this a last year version of Android Studio. It's not the latest. Okay. So to start, right, you want to create a new project. Of course, for regular Android application, right, you want to create an empty it will create an empty activity or a basic activity. But this is compose. You want to start by creating an empty compose activity. Of course, there are other activities there, but that's how you begin in Jetpack Compose. You create an empty compose activity, specify the application name. In my case, I name it DJT. Location, the language is in Kotlin, the minimum Android SDK you want to use. I always advise to use API level 21. That's Android 5 and above, right? I mean, most devices are Android 5 and above. So, yep. Yes, and then finish. So you let's Gradle do it. Let's Gradle do its thing, and initialize the whole thing and give you your. Hey, So we have Gradle trying to set up itself down here, which is here. I think importing GDSA, Gradle project, letting indexes, blah blah blah, and whatever. Um, Down here, what we have is yeah. So here, what we have is the preview. The preview like it's more like the UI. What do you see? It's not an emulator. It's just a preview of whatever you have in your code editor. Yeah, right. And then of course, device manager. You could call the emulator itself and whatnot. Okay, so this is a very simple Android application, right? And this time, all of it's very simple. So in Compose, everything is composable. Composable is basically that. Uh, simply put, is bits of your UI, right? Your view. We call them composable. So if you have a screen that you see, that screen is made a composable. Okay. We say Jetpack Compose is built around composable functions. For every new view you're going to introduce, you have to tag that view as a composable. We have greeting here. Hi. We have greeting here. The greeting text itself is made a composable, right? We have the default view, which is more like my screen itself, where I initialize my theme, right? And then it's made a composable. So basically, composable are just functions that lets your app UI, that define your app UI, right? Describing how it would look, and then gives it any data dependency, and whatever is needed. Okay, so back to our course. So like all of this class or this camp, we're doing a very simple app, straightforward. Just so the point is to look at how Compose builds the app, uh, the concept of text, rows and columns, and how we display on devices. Okay, so we've created a simple Compose application, right? And then in our own case, it's a simple application, right? That says "Hello Android," as you can see here. As you can see on my preview. I'm not sure if you can we see the preview?
Yes,
I'm
you
not
can.
okay. Thank you. Also, you should run this if you're following me and you've created this application, right? You should run it on your device or emulator, as the case may be. I don't have a running Android emulator. I just use my physical device instead. Right. So you should run this. As you can see, let me note my. You should run this on your physical device. Um, and let me know if you have any issue. You should not have issues actually. Compose running on your emulator or physical device is pretty fast. As you can see, mine has loaded already. And I have some hello Android text on my screen. Okay, thank you. Make it hello someone. And first, you can restart an activity. You can rerun the app or whatever that works for you. However, hot restart in Compose is not yet smooth, buttery smooth as you would like. That you want to just refresh the UI and it shows immediately, right? Takes quite a few seconds for it to, boot up. But we can live with it. Okay. What basically is a UI interface and in Compose? UI is basically what you see on the screen, text, images, button, whatever thing that you can interact with, right? Is basically what makes up your user interface. It's basically how the app displays things to the users, whatever it is. You have buttons, you have text buttons, you have text that one could click on, you have form fields, you have input fields, you have search fields, etc. Whatever the case may be. We talked about what Jetpack Compose are. We talked about the concept of composable. Um, we said composable, right? Assigning bits of the UI. It basically describe what you see on the UI, right? With the annotation as composable, just as we have in our code. Okay. It's annotation composable, right? So for every the concept of annotation is not local to Compose alone. However, in Compose, the annotation that we care about is an annotation called composable and preview. Um, preview, and then we have composable functions, which we have currently in our code base. This is a function. We define function because using the keyword fun, right? A function with a void function, right? Just basically this text is as a composable, a function which is a preview of the UI with a particular theme defined. So yeah, okay, let's skip, skip. So yes, thank you. I think we've got to the main tutorial itself. Um, tutorial itself. Add the new composable function in the main activity. Delete the greeting function defined, and you add your own function to display the greeting in the code lab later. Currently, in the code lab, we have a composable defined as greeting, which is this title a text. Where the text is hello, and the variable called name passed into the function, right? From the parameter we can see here, name, which is a string, it's passed down here, Android passed down to name. That. We are tagged with deleting the greeting function along with its argument from the onCreate and birthday card preview, making our main activity look like take- wipe out the greeting function. We should also wipe out the. You should also wipe out. You should also wipe out its corresponding. Okay, let's wipe out this. So wipe the thing out. With background color from the thing, whatever it is, wipe it, wipe it. What else? We should have this. Yeah, nothing is there. Yes. So we should know that on Android, definitely everything in Android is specified by material design, right? So for every widget, for every composable that you're using, um, for every UI item, right, they are using, everything is gotten from the material class itself, available to compose. Right now, we just deleted text, which we are using, as you can see. So imported from there, the compose library itself, material and text. Um, Material library it houses basically everything available to material design, some text, images, form fields, and whatever it is. Okay. Before the basic card preview function, we have to add a function called basic greeting with text. You should not forget to add the composable notation for the function because there will be a compose function emitting a composable. You're being tasked with creating a new composable whose name is basic greeting with text. Something as simple as this. So to create a composable is basically as simple as calling our annotation composable, defining the function itself, with the function keyword, the function name, right? And this. Then this way we've defined a composable in this way. A composable is going to take parameters or arguments, right? We specify it in this way. Say the argument is uh, school, for example, like this, right? It's a string. So in this way, this defining a function, a composable function, right? That would emit some widget or whatever it is, taking an argument called school, and school is of type string. Okay. So once you highlight the composable, you can see description of that composable. It is describes the composable function called basically with text, blah blah blah. You could save delete it, some other jargon telling you about the composable. But of course, our task is not to pass some parameters, so we leave that out. So you should add a message parameter of type string to the basic with text function. So to add the message parameter, all you have to do is call the parameter message, right? Type string. That's that. So created the basic you created a function that takes the message is a string in that way. And it says in the basic greeting with text function, add the text composable, passing in the text message as a name argument. So they're telling you to emit a text. But this time, the text you're going to emit actually is the message. So how do you do that? Um, you call text, right? Honestly, they already have for the other complete. So we call text this way, where text is equals to message. So in this way, we have emitted a text. Every text is the message passed down to the basic listening with text itself. So it's as straightforward as that, with no extra GBT attached to it. And then to preview the function, so how do we preview the function in our design pane? So for this is our design pane here. This is our design pane. Um, so for us to preview the function in design pane, we just split here. Thank you. So split. All we need to do is to what does it says? Pass blah 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 blah. Where the sum should be the text. All we need to do is to call this function right there from set content. So this set content basically So on Android, right, we have the on create method, we have the on destroy method, we have the on pause, on resume. So when an activity is created, that's where you have the on create method now. So on activity, you want to set the context of your view to use this GDIC theme, right? Which is what we have here. So whatever you are meant to render, actually emitted from this. How do we render the birthday greeting with text? Birthday greeting with text this way, and then we pass in the message, say happy birthday, Shola. So let me see. Let me change the color. See. Mm, okay, let's do the color as that, and then we start from here. Okay, changes were not applied on my device. Does not support whatever initialization, blah blah blah. Don't need to worry about that. Message equals to this. So let's do that refresh. Let's see. Let me restart the app on my device.